All right, we are looking at our new reading story for this week. And it's actually a really cool one because even before we had this reading book, this was a book I would read in April because we celebrate Earth Day. So, in our Into Reading book, you will find our story this week on page 122 and 123. It's called One Plastic Bag. And I put the YouTube video on for you to follow along. It's actually the book they're reading on the YouTube video, but it follows our story perfect. And I think it just adds a little bit of extra flair to the story. There's music in the background that gives you a little bit of information about it, but it is a biography, so it's a true story. And I think you'll find that it's pretty fascinating when you think about it. So anyway, that is our story for this week. We only have 3 vocabulary words for this story, just 3. So if you see the screen, our first one is confesses. You kind of look at our picture, which I think is funny because you've got kids painting and it looks like mom may have just found out. So they're a little bit not sure what's going to happen. So when we talk about the definition for confess, it's a verb, it's an action. If someone confesses something, he or she admits to doing or saying something wrong. Okay, so we need to understand that confess, when you confess something, you're basically telling the truth. You're admitting, okay, I know did it, I did it, or what you've said. Okay, our next word is forage. And you can see a bear reaching out for, looks like raspberries. So we know forage must have something to do with eating when we're just looking at the picture using our context clues with pictures. So if we look at forage, again, it's another verb, an action. So when animals forage, they search for food in a certain area. Okay, so this bear is foraging for berries. Okay, that's how you would use that. And our last one is recycled. Should be very familiar with that word. We have a recycle bin pretty similar to that through the school. We had one in our room, a blue one. So we know recycled means when something is described as recycled, it has been used again or used in a different way. Okay? So recycle is an action, but recycled is an adjective because it's describing a material. Okay? So we have those 3 words. So we know our story has to do with some kind of recycling. We'll have to figure out how they use the word forage in our story. Okay, and there must be some sort of confession in the story. Okay, so again, you'll find those words when we always look for our vocab. They're always at the beginning where we find our genre and those types of things for our story. Right here in the yellow, highlighted in yellow there on our page, and they're on page 122. So you'll have a worksheet that just has 3 questions, and I'm just asking these questions to see if you can use or understand how these words are used. So you'll answer the question, but you have to understand these vocab words to answer those questions. So it'll make sense when you see them, and there's only 3 questions, okay? So you'll want to log on and do that and get that sent to me, okay? So after you get off this video, you'll want to listen to the story. Again, that's a YouTube video to follow along in our book. You'll want to do those 3 vocab questions, all right?